Alternate history. You're most likely familiar with that. The most popular example. What if the Axis won World War II? But alternate history, conspiracy theories. What does that mean? Well, it just means something played out differently than what we're led to believe. Okay, to get right into it, tier 1, and the first one is Hitler survived and he moved to Argentina. Now, that comes from the fact that many high profile Nazis fled Germany after World War II ended and they went all the way to South America. And it's believed that Hitler is one of them. That's right, the big Dolph himself never died. The CIA killed JFK, or just anyone that wasn't Oswald, basically. You know, the driver could have done it. Two other shooters could have been there. A sleeper agent, Israel, anyone you can blame, and essentially everyone but Oswald did it. The moon landing didn't happen. Now that's just from the popular belief that we faked the moon landing, but then it's just kind of putting that perspective and just being like, if we faked it, then it never happened then. Therefore, putting something on our history books that we've never actually been to the moon. Okay, tier 2. Germany won World War II, but not just the Axis, Germany themselves. Now this stems from Operation Paperclip, which if you don't know what that is, it's the US brought in Nazi scientists to come and work for them. And essentially what this theory is saying is that Operation Paperclip is the actual victory. Now when I first saw this, I was kind of hoping for something a bit weirder, a bit more out there that said, you know, Germany was the actual victor in the field of battle. That would have been awful, but like to hear someone try to piece that together would have been wild. Emperor Nero burned Rome. Now, there was a big great fire of Rome, and it said that Christians came out and confessed to the burning of Rome, but here, historians believe that it was actually Nero who did it, right? Emperor Nero went and burned Rome to try and make it fall apart so he can rebuild it in his image and to his liking. Now, historians believe it as in kind of the same vein as in we all believe what fell in Roswell was a UFO, not a blimp or something else, whatever they said. It's that kind of similar vein. There's also a popular saying that Nero fiddled while Rome burned, but it doesn't actually have any historical accuracy to it because violins weren't made until way later, till after Roman Empire was gone. So he couldn't really fiddle with anything. The phantom time hypothesis. Now this one, I think when you start to look at alternate history theories or just history theories in general, this will be one of the first ones that you'll probably stumble upon. And what the phantom time hypothesis is that 297 years have just not existed. We should be 297 years backtracked. Now there's more to this. It's more of like the Gregorian calendar is just a lie. The Middle Ages were made up. They don't exist. And this was done because Pope Sylvester II, Emperor Otto III, and Emperor Constantine all wanted to be in the year 1080 so it could be symbolic to them. There's a certain phrase that aligns with the year 1080. I'll put it here. I'll put it somewhere. But they wanted to be there so it could be some sort of historically symbolic meaning to their reigns and just to their existence. I think, not gonna lie, I think that's kind of baller. They just made up a bunch of stuff just so they could be in the 1 year that they wanted. It's kind of funny, but it's also like, you fucking losers. I hope I said before this that these tiers are gonna have a low count to each tier, I guess, because once again, this is custom made. This is my own thing. I'm not reading it off of someone. I'm not taking it from someone else. So I had to look for my own stuff for everything. So yeah, this is all my doing. To get right into it, the first entry is King Arthur was not real. And this just comes from the fact that King Arthur himself is kind of like a myth we believe to be real. Like, there's no actual proof of his existence. But we can't disprove it either, because it's mainly just this story of King Arthur, and it was passed down through generations, and somewhere along the line we started to believe that it was real. Going back to Emperor Nero himself, it's that Emperor Nero faked his death. Now, Nero was said to have committed suicide, but if you know anything about Nero, he was actually just a piece of shit, basically. So, fitting to his slimy character, it would make sense that he faked his death and ran away so no one would kill him. But where did he run away to? He went all the way to Asia. Holocaust deniers. Yeah, there are people who believe that the Holocaust didn't happen, that it's all for show, it's all propaganda. They believe this. Not saying I do, but it's there, and it fits here because it's like, if you're saying that this didn't happen, and let's just give them the benefit of the doubt somehow that it didn't happen, it's like thousands of people died, and if they didn't die in the Holocaust, how did they die? Where did they go? The lost Watergate tape. Now, this lost Watergate tape is essentially just a get out of jail free card for Reagan. This tape is said to have revealed that Ronald Reagan was actually innocent in the whole Watergate scandal, and it actually exposes the existence of the deep state. So, of course, it's lost. Now, the last one for Tier 3 itself. This is, the world died in 2012. Right, okay, hear me out. You remember back in 2012 when everyone was like, the Mayan calendar says the world is going to end in 2012. Well, this theory persists that this did happen. Everyone died in 2012. World ended. But there's a thing called quantum immortality that is basically whenever you die, there's another version of you in another universe that survives whatever happened to you that killed you. And there's another theory that adds to this as well, that's essentially soul or conscience transfer, that whenever you die, your soul will just transport to another version of you in that universe that survived. So the theory here is that we died in 2012, and then all of our souls went and jumped into another parts of us that survived whatever happened in 2012. And this perfectly, or not perfectly, but can perfectly tie into the Mandela effect and why we essentially believe it. Okay, let's jump into the second half now with Tier 4. And the first entry here is World War III happened, and it happened in 1995. Author J.G. Ballard wrote in his book, I'll leave it here, the title of the book, but he wrote in here that World War III happened in 1995 and it ended a couple minutes later. Now, what the actual war is, or was supposed to be, is that it was between US and the Soviets, and they did launch nukes at each other, but minutes after they did that, they were like, hey, truce bro, I don't want no nukes, and then they shut down their nukes, I suppose. It is in his book, what he says, and I could go over all of it, but it's just, I want to quick fire these. I want them to be simple. I want to simplify them for you, and I want them to be quick. Al Gore won in the 2000 election for the US presidency. Now, yeah, it is exactly what it sounds like. Al Gore actually won in the very controversial 2000 election for the US presidency, and he actually won this thing, so it led to a bunch of recounts happening. So there could be whatever, fuck. Al Gore won, and it led to a bunch of recounts happening. So then the deep state can be like, oh, George Bush actually won. So yeah, they basically got their boy out because he lost. Oh, can you imagine if that happened now, though? JFK didn't die. Okay, now this is a theory that says JFK is actually in a coma still. Now, on that day, on November 22nd, 1963, he did get shot, and they all told us he died. But the theory here persists that he didn't die. He's in a coma, and he's still alive. When now, it's just now I don't think he could still be alive today, but whenever this theory could have been made, it could have been true. Like if this was made in the 60s, plausible, but now it's 2021 and we have TikTok. So no way. That one sole reason is the reason why JFK is not alive anymore, because of TikTok. The UK started the US Civil War. Yeah, that one. The one about slavery and taxes and all other stuff. But after failed attempts to reclaim the US, the UK's last goal at reclaiming the US was to divide them, get them to start fighting each other, right, the North and the South, and then once they're fighting each other, they're going to take advantage and wipe them all out so they can reclaim us. Fucking British people, dude, I swear, like, just take the L. You lost the Euros and you lost the US, just take the L, dude. Tier 5. You remember what I said about people denying the Holocaust? Okay, well, there are actually people who deny that the Vietnam War happened. So, hence, Vietnam War deniers. Now, the belief here is that the Vietnam War didn't happen and it was just propaganda so boys could start enlisting into the US military. That's one hell of a propaganda. But, okay, keep in mind that let's give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Vietnam War was faked. Okay, keep that in mind. Fake war. Keep it in mind. Next, U.S. President Zachary Taylor was actually assassinated. The 12th President of the United States, Zachary Taylor, actually died because he had stomach disease. That's what they told us. Now, the theory here is that he was actually poisoned, and this could most likely be from pro-slavery Southerners. So, therefore, if that is true, it would make him the first president to be assassinated, because Lincoln wasn't assassinated until about 10 years after Zachary Taylor died. So, therefore, we could have 5 presidents who were assassinated. That's kind of cool. The Knights of Templar, I believe it's pronounced Templar, they died because they had knowledge of the bloodline of Jesus Christ. It's believed that they had known of many secrets, many religious secrets, and the main one being that they know who is a part of the bloodline of Jesus Christ. They know who they are, and they know where they are. So, because they know this, and they can't let this get out, they were inherently killed. Another popular, though, belief, or religious belief about the Knights of Templar was that they actually had the Holy Grail, and that when they were dying, they buried it. Now, are you still remembering the fake Vietnam War? Okay, here's the last one. World wars are planned in advance. Albert Pike claims that there are 3 world wars that were planned in advance, and 2 of them have already been executed. World War I was brought forth, World War I was created so then they could then bring forth communism. World War II was created so they can take out Nazism. And World War III, if it does happen, will come out and eradicate Christianity and atheism. So then people could then lose that essential God that they believe in and look for something else to believe in. And what are they trying to make you believe in? What is their substitute? Lucifer. Yep, this is all Illuminati or satanic, and yeah, that's what this is. That's what this is. Now, tier 6, my last one, and the first one is the Mongolian Empire never existed. Now, this states that the Mongolian Empire never existed and was just fabricated in order to cover up the barbarian nature of Genghis Khan. So, I think that's kind of funny. You make up a whole ass empire just to cover up the fact that this one dude named Genghis was violent as fuck. Now, the biggest note here, though, that could essentially help this theory is that the Mongolian Empire didn't have, you know, culture, didn't have any historical written text, didn't have folklore, it didn't have, well, it didn't have all the good stuff that, like, the Roman Empire had. Greek Empire, were they an empire? They were an empire, right? Other empires had. Now, I'm kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they just didn't keep records, but also everybody kind of kept records, so maybe they didn't exist, right? Vinland. Now, what Vinland is Viking Leif Erikson came and found the Americas, right? The U.S., Canada, right? That he found that first. And why is it called Vinland? It's called Vinland because of all the grapes. The grape wine, they called it the land of wine, basically. Now, Leif Erikson and the Vikings actually existed about 500 years before the birth of Columbus. They had a whole map created, and it's been one of the biggest treasures, actually. But as of September of 2021, this was actually said to have been faked. This map is just fake. That's what the University of Yale says. And if you're a Harvard intellectual, you're not going to listen to Yale. But yeah, essentially, Vinland could actually be a debunked theory if you were actually going to listen to Yale. I certainly as hell am not. I like the idea that Vikings found the Americas first. That's cool. And then they were like, land of wine? Fuck yeah. Fuck you, Yale. The Cold War was staged. Now, this is saying that the US and the Soviet Union were actually working together to create all these advancements in technology, right? The space race to help both each other out. They were both helping each other create nuclear weapons, and that the media was in on it, and they were telling you that war was imminent. So you're not suspecting of these two countries working together. Now, in the similar vein of the Cold War being staged, here's the next one. The next one is all wars are faked or staged. This one is just saying that every war is fake, essentially, that there's no actual conflict, right? That all these soldiers are crisis actors, that there's just no battlefields, actually. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not even siding with it. It's just I'm presenting this theory to you. The Roman Empire still exists, and holy damn, there was a lot of Roman Empire stuff here. I don't know, after a certain age, boys just either get into the Romans, the Spartans, or in the Vikings. And me, I think I just happened to land in the Romans. But this is just saying that some people believe that the Roman Empire never actually fell, and just rebranded itself in the shadows as the Illuminati. Original Earth. Now, you may have heard the theory of people saying that humans actually come from Mars, and that we destroyed Mars, and then we came out here to Earth to live out the remainder of our lives. Now, keep that in mind about the Mars thing. Okay, now, the actual original Earth theory suggests that we come from an alternate reality where Earth died. And another part of this theory suggests that our actual home planet is in a different galaxy. Now, where does the Mars thing tie into this? Maybe in our, if this theory is true, our alternate reality, Mars is just Earth, right? And there just is no Mars. I don't know, there's a lot of shit that is in here that I'm just like, I'm gonna question the fuck out of everything that I just heard. Now, last thing I'm gonna tell you to keep in mind, our home being in a different galaxy. Keep that in mind. Okay, the last entry, which is the Anunnaki. Now, why am I putting these fuckers on here? Okay, well, first of all, if you don't know what the Anunnaki are, to simplify it, it's they're big aliens that are said to be the creators of humans. Now, why am I putting them here? Okay, it's believed that our traditions, our religions, our languages, everything that we know to exist all stems from the Anunnaki, and that none of what we know is original to us. All of our beliefs come from something else. So it's like keeping the name of the video alternate history theories. I hope that's what I titled it. Here's an alternate history thing for us. Yeah, just our history is not ours entirely. Okay, that's it. I hope that's it. I don't think I missed anything. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything. Thank God. But if you made it to the end, thank you a lot. Thank you so much. Actually, I have never actually made one or like made an iceberg myself. So while I was doing this, I was hoping to just keep it short, keep it simple, because I didn't want to overwork my mind, my simple mind. You know, had I tried to fill each tier with like 10 plus things, this would have never came out. And I just really wanted to make one. After finding Wendigoon's channel and finding him through the Bible iceberg, essentially, not the Bible iceberg, the Bible video he made as well, and then finding that video and then going to see his conspiracy theory iceberg, I completely remembered what I wanted my channel to be, and then I just remembered, wow, it was supposed to be stuff like this. And you know, thanks to him, I just went back, and now I'm actually doing what I wanted to do in the first place. You know, I started with gaming, and that was okay. Like I liked it. I did like doing that. I found it fun, but it's just the whole time I knew I wanted to do something else. I knew this was the kind of stuff that I wanted to do. So if you're still here and you're still at the end, I just want to say thank you again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking to the end if you're here. You know, I could have just took someone's and then, you know, read everything off, done my own research on it, but it's just, I like the idea of making my own one. And yeah, it was small. I hopefully could come back one day and make a bigger one. Or just actually take someone else's that's just bigger and dedicate my time to that. But for now, I'm really glad that I made this and that I made it relatively short. But still, last time, thank you so much for watching. If you come back, that's really cool of you. If you don't, that's okay. Whatever. Just thank you for watching. And yeah, bye.